I mean, realistically, first of all, welcome to the Browns halftime live show. Realistically, if you went into this game and you said at halftime it was a 3-point game, on paper, that's not that bad. Watching that game, you are upset
see, but
that
when
it's a
you
3-point game.
When the Buffalo Bills have their worst offensive half in years, and you know, a large part of that is because the Browns defense played well for the most part in that first half. So kudos to them. But when they have one of their worst offensive outputs in years and you are losing by 3 at halftime, you're right. It takes on a little different feel.
It's that same issue. It's the same issues. And that's what's, I think, so frustrating. It's because it's the same thing. The Browns defense was playing lights out in the first quarter, and then the Bills figured out what every team has figured out, that you can't stop running with the Browns defense. The Browns defense is so bad with the run stopping, and they exploit it. And this is not a team that should do that. Now, Josh Allen's hurt, and so like obviously they would like to rely a little bit more on that. He's off in his passing game today, but it shouldn't be anywhere near what it is.
Yeah, this game should be 20-3. But once again, if you're watching, it's 13-10. Good to see everybody. John Doss with Camryn Justice over there. Camryn is at Ford Field in Detroit. What's really frustrating is that the Browns continue to fail. They continue to fail. That was a dominant first half, and they are losing. And why are they losing, Camryn? Because of back-to-back plays, they drop touchdowns. Both their tight ends, Harrison Bryant and Pharaoh Brown. Because their special teams coverage unit is the worst in the NFL.
So bad.
The worst we have ever seen. It is so bad. They don't take advantage of opportunities. And also, in a game in which you can't lose the turnover battle. The Browns do not ever win when they lose the turnover battle.
No.
They fumble a snap at midfield in their drive.
And
these are failures. These are failures that you cannot do if you want to win any game in the NFL, let alone against a good team.
In terms of that fumble, and I know a lot of people were a little upset about Jacoby Brissett because he somehow shoulders the blame for a lot of these issues on offense, but Jacoby Brissett has been almost flawless in terms of what they are asking of him. He's thrown dots today. He's had 3 drops from tight ends. 2 of them were perfect passes in the end zone, back to back. And they were to Harrison Bryant, which he's got to catch that, and Pharaoh Brown, who is a third-string tight end. But you have to make those passes. But that one, you got Yelda Frohold in there at center because Ethan Posick out with injury. He's already your backup. Yeah, he is, and he's played phenomenally. He is the backup to the backup to what was the backup center at the start of the season, and now you're throwing Yelda Frohold in there, and this is what you're gonna end up with. And you know, you've got to be able to play no matter what they preach next man up. But these are the issues that you see. And Robert talked about what we were talking about. They dominated the first half, yet they're losing.
Yeah. Let's talk about a couple of
things.
A couple of things that John Port said. He said 12 men on the field, inexcusable. Inexcusable. Just at every team, inexcusable. He also says no blitzing on that last drive. It's what we've been calling for. More blitzes, Camryn, put pressure on the opposing team's quarterbacks. And you know what? It worked. They looked great against Josh Allen the first 3 drives. And then John's right. It seems like they dialed back the aggression. Al says you can't lose Diggs behind you. But yeah, you can't lose Diggs in front of you, behind you, whatever. Now, to the Browns' credit, defensively, they've done a pretty good job on him in the first half. That was his only catch. It happened to be pretty costly. Like we saw last week, they did a pretty good job on Tyreek Hill most of the game. And even Jalen Waddle, it was other guys that beat him. Today, that's not been the case. You're happy with the Bills only having 13 points. You just can't believe that they're winning.
Yeah, with Al Gordon losing Diggs behind it. I mean, Diggs was wide open on the touchdown pass, and that was after a timeout. So what was that? I mean, if you're running cover 0, who's on him? Who's on that man? But then, to John's point right here, no blitzing on that last drive. They have been really well. I don't know how much it played into it. So they ran a pinch before, and that took out that accounted for a really big run for the Bills. So maybe they thought that was going to happen. Maybe overthinking a little bit. Who's to say? But you can't. You still got to put the pressure on. That's what is going to stop them.
John Port is bringing it today. He's our MVP right now. Hands off to Chubb while standing still. My 2 least favorite things on the planet. Actually, there's 3 of them, John. One of them is the Wildcat.
Hate the
without
Wildcat.
the threat to throw. Without the threat to throw. There's no
Yeah.
threat of Nick Chubb throwing the ball. That's not a Wildcat. That's just your running back catching the ball out of a shotgun and running. Secondly, I hate those runs where you take the shotgun snap, you turn, everybody's standing still, you hand the ball, and your running back's got to start from zero, or from -4. I hate those. The other one is throwing it deep on 3rd and 1 from your half of the field, but the Browns have completed a few of those. Mickey's right. Throw the ball to Cooper. He had a great first half. He's bucking that trend that he can only perform at home. This is his best road game of the season. Brissett hung that last one a little long in the air, and unfortunately, Cooper missed that catch by just a couple of inches. But Cooper's been very good. He's been open, and Brissett's been very good today.
Brissett has been good. He's been finding the targets. But yes, credit to Amari Cooper because he's open, but he's not open because these guys just aren't guarding him. He's an elite route runner, and you're seeing that today. You've got to take advantage of that.
Robert, what are they doing, man?
He hates it too. He hates it too.
Jacoby Brissett, and it's not just the threat of the non-threat of throwing, because Chubb's not going to throw the ball. It's motioning your quarterback out wide. That's not a threat for anything. Like, the Bills don't think you're doing anything but running the football with Nick Chubb there. It's asinine to me.
And it's the situational things that are happening here today too. There's no reason to get cute in the position they were in. There's no reason to be cute.
You know what's disheartening is the defense played really well. Good to see Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah back. You'd like to see Grant Hilton make an open field tackle, God forbid.
You would, but he's made some other big plays too.
Yeah,
he's made some big plays too.
Jacoby Brissett's played very well. Cooper's played very well. This offensive line is a shell of itself, Camryn. What is going on? This is the best offensive line in football up until a couple of weeks ago, and now all of a sudden, I know they've had some injury issues, but my goodness.
That has been a big part of it. No excuse, because they have been good throughout all of it. They've been notoriously good for even when they're dealing with injuries, of embodying the next man up mentality. They've really had depth. Bill Callahan has done a really good job of making sure the line could do that, but you've not seen that. Jedrick Wills has been very roller coaster, up and down performances from him. Wyatt Teller was dealing with that injury that took him out for a while. Yelda Froholt now obviously in at center. Jack Conklin has gone through injuries himself. So it's been a really roller coaster ride, but you can't use injuries as an excuse when you've been able to perform through it anyway. Oh yeah, Al.
Yeah, I was just gonna point that out too, and they threw up that stat after the Browns inevitably go down and score a touchdown on the first drive of the game, because that's what they do. Kevin Stefanski's opening script, masterful. And they converted a couple of big third downs. It was huge to see that. But to Al's point here, they put that stat up on the bottom of the screen after the touchdown. It says the Browns in the first quarter of this season are plus 22, the second best in the NFL. Every other quarter, they're negative, especially in the second half, negative by double digits. It's inexcusable. The lack of adjustments, or I don't want to say lack of adjustments. Maybe they're making some adjustments. The lack of good adjustments, Camryn.
Yeah, and that's going to be something that they've yet to do it, because even in the games that they have won, right, they've struggled down the stretch. Even minus the Bengals game.
Tell me more.
But that was their only good complimentary game of football. So if they want to win games like this, where you see them struggling to start, they've got to close it out. It's almost like we've got that kind of issue in Cleveland. All these teams struggling down the stretch.
Hey, this is going to be – what was I going to say? I've lost it.
Well, that was good. Great insight from Sports Director John Dust.
Here we go. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on this drive coming out of halftime. The Bills get the football. They took the lead just before the half. When adversity has hit this Browns team this year, they have not been good. When adversity hits this Browns team this year, it seems like they quit a lot. And
it's been bad.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. If they can stop the Bills, game on. If they come down and score, this thing could come. What do you think of Ford Field, Ken?
It's great. It's loud. And we just found out that Ethan Posick is out for the remainder of the game with a knee injury. We are in the second half now, so I have to go. You
Okay,
enjoy
are you
Cleveland. It's
real
just
quickly?
cold
Are
here.
you team dome? If you're going to build a
Team
new
Dome?
stadium,
Oh my gosh.
team
Climate
dome all the
controlled.
way.
It's beautiful. We love it.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.